Hey folks, man, this is Monk, and we are back with another episode of Classes of Cinematics. And join as always, my co-host, we got Bobby Blockbuster.
Yo!
Yeah, folks, so today we got a comedy for you guys, man. We're going to be talking about Police Academy from 1984. This film released in March 23rd of that year. And in this story, the mayor of a crime-ridden city loosens the restrictions on entering the police academy in order to get more cops on the street. All manner of oddball characters enlisted join the force. Among the cadets are Suave, Carey Mahoney, hulking Moses Hightower, beautiful Karen Thompson. Also, sound effects generating Larvell Jones, who all have to show initiative and courage when they are faced with tough situations out on patrol, man. And in this film, we got a wild cast of characters. We got Leslie Easterbrook, Steve Guttenberg, Michael Winslow, Kim Cattrall, Bubba Smith. We also got David Graff, Marion Ramsey, and various others.
G.W. Bailey, he's the other guy. Like he's the lieutenant that don't fight.
And this film is interesting, man. Rewatching it right now, it's kind of a very progressive film idea, man. If you think about it, man, like they want to get a more diverse police squad, man. You know what I'm saying? Which is interesting that this idea was made in 1984. So instead of, the normal gun-to-hole, straight white males that you usually get in these positions, they open it up to everybody. Everyone. This mayor was definitely pretty progressive. And one of the interesting things that in the very beginning is like we get a scene where Lieutenant Harris and Lazard, they're having a meeting. Their boss is coming in telling them this is what the new thing's going to be. Yeah. He's like, I don't like this lady. You know what I'm saying? But we gotta, act like we're with the program. But I want you to watch these new cadets out. And it's funny because Harris is like, yeah, man, fuck them. But then it's wild because Lazard is like, he's kind of like, yeah, but you could tell he's kind of winking an eye as he's saying it. He's more on the mayor's side, like he's following orders.
But then of course the little flunky lieutenant's like, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
we'll push him out. And that's the thing. Like with the way, this story, this movie, simple premise. I like that. But what really makes it excel is like this rude, crude, slapstick style comedies that was running rampant in the 80s. This is what we were getting. And with this one, it hits almost like it's a combination of those sketch comedies all compiled together for about an hour and a half. Which by them doing that, it lets this story really live through the characters, you know what I'm saying? Because we jump right into the character development right out the gate, which that's what really pushes this film through and helps it excel.
And I think it's cool that we're not getting humor solely based on police situations, man. Because I feel like that might have been a little, crazy ground to walk on, trying to, make jokes light out of, what could be serious stuff. But really, the jokes are coming from these character types, man. And I think that's where this thing excels, man. There's a lot of character in these characters.
A lot of characters in these characters. Yes. And, shit, on that note, we'll start with Mahoney. He was played by Steve Guttenberg, and for me, he kind of hits me kind of like the same as like a Bugs Bunny style character. You know what I'm saying? Whereas he's a leader, but he's also like he's a prankster. He does not respect authority, even though he's in an authoritarian setting and actually trying to be an authority figure. But when it really comes down to do what has to be done, he does it, and that's where he really steps up. But he also, he advocates for his folks. Like he does not leave nobody behind. Like when something is wrong, he points that shit out, but he has no problem really pushing the boundaries with the things that he does. Like, even right out the gate before he's a cop, you see when he's working at the parking lot, the dude pulls up in his Trans Am and he's a big prick and he's like, yeah, find me a spot, woo, 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 woo. He's like, ain't nowhere to park. And then so of course the manager comes over. He's like, man, you better find him a place to spot. So my man puts that Trans Am up on two wheels and wedges it between two other cars. These are the kind of things where it's like,
it's funny how so many of these characters are like Mahoney in a way, like they just can't get along in regular life, which is wild to me that they're better off being cops.
Right. What is that really saying? Like, what are they saying? Read between the lines here.
It's funny as hell, man, because my photo booth guy. They just steal his whole photo booth. I love the crime in this movie because it's just like it doesn't make sense to me because
really
everyone in the criminals don't really look like criminals. They just look like regular average day guys on their lunch break. Like,
right.
Like, let's go steal a Kodak film booth and just cause chaos.
We can do that in about 15 minutes and still clock back in.
This ain't even about money. We're just bored.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what I also like too is that even though, you know, this film is based around this wild premise with anybody being a cop, 80% of this film is a big training montage as we're watching this wild band of people go through this academy. I mean,
it's fun. It's fun because they've all kind of got flaws in their personality, you know, and by going through this training, for a lot of them, it kind of like helps them overcome those.
It gives them a structured life. Like I mean, they got obstacle courses, simulated situations, shooting courses, driving courses, and through every one of these courses, somebody just out of left field does not do well, and then others excel. But they all band together to help the team push through. And that, you know, for this to be just such a wild film, one thing that I do love is that because there is such a wide array of characters and everybody's front and center, it gives us as viewers to be able to pick and choose who we root for and who becomes our own personal favorites.
I like them all, man.
I like them all too.
Because like you said, like they're almost like G.I. Joe characters. Yeah, each one has the specialty that they're good at. Like Bubba Smith, he's just this huge dude, and like that's his power.
But he's a gentle giant.
Yeah, he's a gentle giant.
And you know what makes him really cool is he used to be an Oakland Raider. He played for the Baltimore Colts, the Houston Oilers, and the Oakland Raiders. So he's always gonna be cool in my book.
And then you got even Hooks, man, like so soft spoken and sweet. Yeah. But then she learns to.
But when it's time for her to get loud,
she learns to like situate herself and step up. Like it's
you know
crazy.
who my guy is? My guy is Larvell Jones, man, the noisemaker. Larvell Jones, Michael Winslow, and it's so wild because I mean the sounds that he makes are just they're vintage sounds. They sound like Atari games, but like it's so form fitting to this. And like I mean when he first meets Mahoney's like, oh man, what'd you do? He's like, let me show you, and he pulls this little thing out and he makes this like Uzi sound, and everybody in the police station like ducks and stuff. They're like, stop doing that.
Yeah, but it's such a specialized ability, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But they still find a way for him to use it out in the field.
And you know what was really cool too is that his character wasn't even written in the original script. He was immediately written in after the director. What's the director's name? Hugh Wilson and the casting directors, they went to go see this guy, Count Basie, at a comedy show, and Kevin Williams, not Kevin Williams, what's his name?
Michael Winslow.
Michael Winslow opened up for him. So they wrote him in instantly. So that was really dope. And then also, because of his talents, you know, all of the like the intercom announcements, he did those as well. Yeah, you know what I mean?
He's dope, man. Yeah. We also get a young Kim Cattrall in this thing. It's interesting because she's kind of probably the most regular of the cadets, man. She doesn't have any of these weird quirks that the other ones has. She's probably the most straight-laced. But it's interesting, man. After this, she was kind of out of here, bro, as far as her film career, man. I don't think she came back to the series, did she?
No.
Yeah. But then it's crazy because this became Guttenberg's series. You know what I'm saying? After this, he's probably pretty much in all of the following films.
Except for the following four. Okay. And then it extends to 7.
I remember, though, when they went to Moscow, they had like that other dude.
It was the other dude. Yeah.
I remember.
But what's it? The commissioner, he was what's his name? George Gaines.
Lassard.
He was in all of them.
I love Lassard, man. He's like the coolest boss. You don't sweat nothing. Dude.
He's so oblivious, but he's so like with the shits too. And they said it's wild because they said that his role was actually written with Leslie Nielsen in mind, which I could see that.
Yeah, he's definitely great value Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah, but he kills it. But with all these good characters, every film has to have somebody for everyone to dislike, and that's where G.W. Bailey comes in as a lieutenant.
Harris was good.
It is great to just see the messed up stuff happen to him, like all of the pranks that are just being pulled on him, from the simple stuff like the shoe polish on the bullhorn to I mean, even when he catches Mahoney, like looking at the female dorm room and stuff, he's like, "Oh, you go back to your room, give me the beer," and then he gets caught. Like, it's just all this stuff is like, my man remember when him and Mahoney are on they're on patrol and he rides the bike and then ends up like crashing the bike into a car and ends up with his head up a horse's butt.
Yeah, I remember.
It's like that.
They were constantly pulling pranks on. I mean, he deserved it, man.
He did.
A prick, yo. Like the whole series, man. He's just a fun character throughout this, man. Someone that they can play jokes off and just, have fun at his expense.
But you need to have that because he's the one also, like, everybody's rooting for this team to get through it and for them to, become these cops and everyone be a part of the team, everyone except for him.
Yeah, he's more down with the classic beat him in the head, kind of racist police force, you know what I'm saying?
And of course he finds his two flunkies and what are their names? Gary Farmer was it Gary Farmer? I can't find their names on this thing.
No, I got him. You talking about Cadet Kyle Blanks and then Leslie Barbera, played by Donovan Scott. And,
there you go.
Rant Von Hoffman.
There you go. Those two, the two flunkies. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, man.
Yeah. Shout out to Tackleberry.
Tackleberry's the man, y'all.
He was one of my favorites as a kid.
Yes.
But now I realize his character he's a little problematic though. He's one of these guys that wants to play Army, but why didn't he join the Army?
Right.
Did he fail? Did he try before and he was just too intense? But it's crazy.
He's like that super security guard, dog. He takes his job way too serious. Like, I mean, when he first get their little rooms and stuff, my man pulling guns out from everywhere. Like, he's like, dude, you came to the police academy that strapped up.
His scene's funny though when we first meet him because like he's at work overnight at security and his co-workers are throwing a surprise birthday party and he just kicks the door open and bah 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 bah. Yeah. And they're just looking all. Luckily he didn't hit nobody and they're like surprise.
Right.
And he's like, oh, you guys shouldn't. And I'm like, yo,
let's cut this cake.
This guy is nuts. But when you know what I like though, when it always happens with these movies. There's that initial setup, whatever they're dealing with the bureaucracy. Then you get the training or whatever they're going through, and then there's the final thing where they get to team up and use all their police stuff, man.
Yes.
And then that happens in this film too because they're going through their training mostly and they're actually doing all right.
They're doing all right through it. Yes.
There's some cool scenes, like I said, where these characters are able to overcome the shortcomings just by sticking together and believing in each other. I love when Hightower comes in the night before, he goes into Mahoney's room.
Yeah.
It's like 3 a.m. and he's like, yo, dude, what are you doing? He's like, hey, man, I got the driving test tomorrow.
Yeah.
I haven't driven since I was 12. And then Mahoney goes out and takes him out and they're driving around town.
They steal the flunky's little car.
and he goes on a police chase with that. But it's so cool. But then later the next day, Hightower's whipping that thing.
In the course, yes. And he's a smile on his face. He's confident. And yes, that scene, it humanized him because I feel like Hightower is probably the most relatable of all of these characters. I mean, when it comes to just watching this from the outside looking in, he's just like, he doesn't have all the antics with him. He's just quiet and he's there about his business. Like he's trying to just get put on. Like, I mean, when Hightower first meets him, he's like, yeah, what'd you used to do before you did this? He was like, oh, I was a florist. He was like flowers. He was like, yeah, just got tired of it.
It's funny because this dude, his stature and everything, man, just gives you the wrong impression immediately. Like, and I can see how that could be an issue with his day-to-day life, man. But seeing him in this role, it just like he easily became one of my favorites in this series.
Absolutely,
man. Like,
absolutely,
just
absolutely,
cool dude, man.
And then another guy that I kind of he wasn't on my favorite list, but I gravitated towards him was Fackler, who was played by Bruce Mayer. He is the one. He's not bad for himself. He's bad for everyone around him. Mm-hmm. Like he's the guy that when he opens a car door, he gets in the car safely, but hits somebody else with the door. Like it just everything.
He's the klutz.
He is the klutz, but his klutziness brings chaos around him. Like he's the one who starts the riot at the end because he's eating the apple and he throws the apple out the window and hits somebody else in the head. They turn around, see these other guys eating apples. They're like, oh, well, they're good. And then riot ensues. Then he goes back to the academy. He's like, everybody, there's a riot going on. We got to suit up. And they're like, well, how did it start? He was like, who knows how these things start? You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro,
but it's funny how it's just a random riot.
But what I love when it comes to his character is, a strong man is defined by his counterpart, man, and his wife is telling him, she's like, yo, I don't want you to go to this police academy. You're bad for yourself. You're going to hurt yourself. And when he dips out, she was like, I told you don't start the car. And, she starts hurdling these fences. It's like, she should be the one in the academy. Yeah. She's just fucking jumping over the fences all like a track star. It was great. Jumps on the hoods, like, pull this car over. That stuff is great, man.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. It's like I said, man, the ride, like, that's the wildest part to me. So, they got to go and deal with this situation, and everything's coming together. And even then, Harris is still trying to sabotage them. Yeah. He's setting them up. Yeah. He's putting some of them on empty blocks. He's putting some of them on other blocks with no backup. And it's a chaotic scene, but they still find a way to pull together.
They don't have no gear. Yeah. They have helmets. They have helmets. And then leave it up to Larvell. Like, he's more interested in making sound effects when he lifts the thing. He's like, woo. Yeah. I was like, dude, come on. Nut, man. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, man. But like I said, the crime in this city is hilarious, bro. It's just so random, man. It's this thing, when I look at the street criminals, and this reminds me of like Final Fight or something like that. Like, or Double Dragon type dudes, man.
But it's no violence. It's like everyone did, like, all you gotta do is tell a joke and you can get out of any situation, dude.
Just shenanigans and craziness, man. Yeah. It's nuts, man. Yeah, I don't even know where the city's at, man. It says
it was actually the whole movie was shot in various points in Toronto. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then what is it? It said Toronto, Ontario. The camera booth scene was shot in Cherry Street Bridge in Toronto, and the academy itself was previously the site of the Lakeshore Psychiatric Hospital.
What? Ugh. That's a big hospital, bro.
But then, peep this though. It has since become the Lakeshore campus of the Humber College. Mm-hmm. So there we go. Talk about a 180 switch, right? Mm-hmm. But all over Toronto, they were just running rampant with this thing.
Yo, it was a wild gag in this thing, man. That they probably kept that pretty much through the whole movie, man. The Blue Oyster, bro. Like, that's the wildest part.
And that's an actual spot out there.
That's crazy.
Yes, that is an actual spot out there.
Is it an actual, like, gay bar?
I don't know if it's actually.
I didn't even know what I was watching as a kid. I just know that, like, I was like, damn. Like I never made the connection, but I'm just watching. And I'm just like, and it used to always trip me out. It's like, man, I don't want to dance with no dude. Like,
right,
maybe
exactly,
Like, maybe that's the problem here. But, like, it was just so goofy. Like, they
different
would just go in there.
Man.
The next thing you know, it'd be like, and then one of them would just grab him up and start dancing with him.
Like these big brawling biker looking dudes. It's like, what is this? What is happening? What is happening?
I don't know if that Blue Oyster scene made it into all the films, but I feel like maybe after a little bit through they stopped doing it. But yeah.
Well, and the thing is that this film, it does have a certain level of, like, crude humor and raunchiness to it. But
it could be worse though, man.
It could be way worse. It could be way worse. And Hugh Wilson said that initially, when they first created the film and everything, to get through production, the production team wanted to take out, like, it was like 20 different, like, gags or whatever, and the film almost got shelved. Damn. So he was like, you got to put that stuff back in. Like, three of the main scenes that really got this one pushed through was, of course, the G.W. Bailey head in the horse's butt, but the iconic hooker in the podium scene with Lassard. Like, they didn't want to, like, endorse that and stuff, but without that scene, the movie might not have made it. So it's like, the thing of it is that you watch this with a light heart and an easy eye. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's crude, but
there was definitely a lot crazier stuff at this time, man. Like, even like Venture the Nerds and Porky's and things like that.
That's what I'm saying.
Around this is kind of tame.
And it's really tame.
It's interesting that it got an R rating, and we were talking mostly for, like, language. You know what I'm saying? Considering, but then the sequels, I think the one after this was PG-13, and then they started just getting straight up PG, because it's like, really, you didn't need that for what this series represented, man. You know what I'm saying?
This one set the tone.
I think the characters were strong enough where they didn't have to lean so heavily into the raunch all the time.
Yes, and I mean, and that's what the director said. He said, we give the raunch the first time around. You spread the word, you get everybody involved, and then it becomes, almost like a family series in a sense. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because we get 7 films in total.
Wow. Have I seen all of them?
Yeah, but the most successful one was this one, because it comes in off of a. What is it? came in off of a $4.5 million budget and grossed 8.5. Let me see. I'm looking at this wrong. We're gonna have to edit this. It came in off of a $4.5 million budget, and then it grossed $8.5 million on its opening weekend, and then more than $149 million worldwide. Again, So, with all that being said, I mean, it was hitting out of the park. It was the number one VHS selling in 1984. I think that I want to say it was like over 107,000 copies that were sold, and that added to and inflated this this already very healthy budget. And after that, Warner Brothers was like, they greenlit Police Academy 2 right out the gate, and then all of the films in the franchise that followed it. They were like, come on, let's do this.
Yeah, that's what's up.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think a good movie deserves a good theme song, and this one definitely has that, man. That
theme songs, dog. Yeah, the whole thing was done by Robert Falk, and shout out to my man Phil. Let me borrow his soundtrack. You know what I'm saying? So I was listening to this. It's dope soundtrack. So I mean, you get 29 bangers, all these just like different little scores that are going on. It's really cool, man. Because like you said, every good movie has a good score, and this one, I think this is one of those ones where like the score doesn't surpass the film, but the film wouldn't be the same without this score. You know what I mean? It definitely it makes this film that much better.
Yeah. Just to have that theme going when something's exciting happening.
Yeah.
When the team is, doing something cool. Yeah, definitely. But I'm showing here there was actually 8 films, man. There was a Police Academy Next Generation. That was number 8.
Okay.
So 7 would be Mission to Moscow. 6 was City Under Siege. I actually like that one. I think they had some skateboard scene that opened City Under Siege. Oh, no. That was part 4.
I stopped after 4.
Yeah. Citizens on Patrol, man.
Yeah, Citizens on Patrol. That's the one with the hot air balloon, man.
But they had one where they went to Florida that was kind of dope too, man. That was crazy, bro. Like they was fighting crime in Florida. I think that's when Guttenberg got replaced, man.
Okay.
They had that new guy, Matt McCoy became I think his name was Nick Lasser. He replaced Guttenberg's character, man. That's when we got my man House. Remember the big dude?
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, so there were a few that came back. I think
and then there
Callahan, Easterbrook, she came back.
There was a TV series as well, and Michael Winslow was the only one. Michael Winslow. I was like,
was Proctor in this one? I don't think he was.
No, he wasn't.
Proctor was a good character
Proctor
too, man.
was.
I think he came out maybe part 2 or 3.
Yeah, and even with the TV show, Michael Winslow was the only one to reprise his role as Larvell. And he was the only one that was in all of them, plus the TV show. And man. I swear I remember there being some kind of a cartoon. I know they had like some little action figures going on back in the day, like children's toys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think I remember in City Under Siege too, man. I think that one had some weird gang members. And remember Bobcat? He was going against his own gang.
Bobcat was dope, yeah.
Bobcat was a crazy.
Bobcat was wild. I remember it from part 4, like in the hot air balloon. Yeah, man, that weird voice he got.
They teamed him up with the Clumsy dude.
Yes,
remember? And he was so heated.
Yes, he was blown. He was blown.
Yeah, man, I might go back through these, man. This was a fun series, man. I don't put it on high on the list of comedies, but it can be fun, man. And as a kid, man, I love these movies.
Yes.
Man. They were always coming on HBO, and I was seeing all of them as they aired. And it's just fun, man. Especially having so many characters that are appearing in so many films back to back. They become like a crew. The reliables. I like when you get to the point where Hooks and Hightower and Callahan and Mahoney, they're training the next batch that comes in, man. Yeah. This is fun stuff, man.
And plus, I mean, this is a testament of great acting, because a lot of these actors, when this film came out, were up and comers, and they said that the director just kind of like let them off the leash. He was like, there was a lot of improvisations going on. Like he was like, man, we don't need a script. This is the situation. Now y'all do what you do, make it funny.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Which, like, you can see that, like all throughout this, that you can't like predetermine these like, things that are going on, man.
Even the way Hooks is running up the hill right now, they're all adding their little comedic twist to it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Look at Big Barbara. He's just like, oh man, come on, man.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it is great, but like ultimately, you know, like I said, even with all this funny, it's still a feel good film because you see all of these characters from all walks of life just come through, and the common goal is to, you know, put themselves through this situation and ultimately succeed. Yeah, you know, which that is dope, man.
Yeah, this is fun rewatching this, man. I would definitely recommend, you know, spending the block on this one again. You know what I'm saying? Checking out this series. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and I wonder if we'll ever get something like this, you know, nowadays, man. You know, we get things that, you know, maybe like a Hangover Part 3, but we haven't had series that had as long legs as this did, you know, coming from the comedy realm, you know, in this era.
And this style of comedy, like we were talking about before, it's a lost art. Like, they need to get back into the slapstick style of comedy. I mean, it's funny, you know what I'm saying, to see, you know, these kind of situations, and it's not funny to see people get hurt, but, you know, it's funny to see, you know, somebody try and bust through a door sometimes in a comical manner, or just, you know, these kind of things. Physical comedy, not just, you know, relying on a punchline and hoping that it sticks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, man. But yeah, I think that's it, man. We can wrap this one up, man. This has been Police Academy. Make sure you like, subscribe to the channel. You know what I'm saying?
Game over.
Check out the QR code for some cool merch to help support us, man. And you can catch us at Classical Cinematics on Instagram. You can catch me at Monkey Blood on Twitter and Instagram.
And this is Bobby Blockbuster. As always, you can catch me on the next show.
Peace.
Dude, my man's in there.